Chapter 1798. The other two helicopters directly caught up with the two vehicles in which the IGA Ninja were riding. Since the IGA Ninja were on the viaduct, there was nowhere to hide. They were driving a car and fleeing frantically, and the helicopter was approaching overhead. Just when they wanted to escape with all their strength, the special forces on the helicopter directly hit the front hoods of the two vehicles with armor-piercing shells. The penetration ability of armor-piercing projectiles is extremely strong. Even military armor is difficult to resist, not to mention the civilian car engine. A few armor-piercing projectiles hit, the vehicle engine was instantly damaged. When the engine was damaged, the vehicle immediately lost power, and the vehicle's speed became slower and slower until it finally stopped. The 6 ninjas in the car were frightened. They were about to push the door and get out of the car, holding their heads and scurrying. They found that the helicopter had hovered 2 or 3 meters above the bridge deck one after another, and then a large number of special forces quickly descended. Down, the dark muzzle had been aimed at their heads. 20 special forces directly made the 6 ninjas surrender, and they did not dare to resist at all. And at this time, Takehiko and Tanaka Koichi were also sent to the ambulance and driven to the hospital quickly. Matsumoto was at home at this time, feeling the feeling of strategizing. The gambler's mentality was extremely heavy, and he already had that kind of immersion. It's just that this gambling game was really too big, and he was a little nervous while excited, for fear that there would be accidents in the process of trading. Now that Maki Takahashi was cold, Takehiko would be cold soon, and when he was cold, he would be the top one. Nervous and excited, holding a glass of whiskey, thinking about the time in his heart, guessing that Takehiko was almost worthy of death. So he immediately took out his mobile phone and called the IGA Ninja who was responsible for assassinating Takehiko. As a result, the strange communication black hole appeared again. The call that could be made 10 minutes ago was not going through. Everything was the same as with IGA Kamino, who was guarding the Su brother and sister in Chengdu. If he is missing, he will disappear, and there is no trace. Just when he was at a loss, the assistant walked up anxiously and said to him, "President, there was an accident with IGA Ninja." "What's the accident?" 6 IGA ninjas are all arrested. Takehiko and Tanaka Koichi fell from the viaduct. They have now been sent to the hospital. It is said that there is no life threatening. What? Matsumoto gritted his teeth and cursed, "Let Ito Yuhiko escape." The ninjas of the IGA family are too rubbish. The assistant nodded and said seriously, "At present, it is indeed like this." Ryoto Matsumoto angrily threw the whiskey glass in his hand to the ground. And the glass slammed heavily on the marble floor tiles, and it broke instantly. At this moment, a cold woman's voice suddenly came from the living room, "Mr. Matsumoto's temper is really big enough." Ryoto Matsumoto and his assistant were startled by the strange voice. The two followed their reputations and saw a woman in her 20s stepping in. Ryoto Matsumoto was shocked, and blurted out and asked, "You? Who are you? How did you get in?" The woman sneered, "Of course I walked in." Matsumoto took a step back and asked nervously, "What are you going to do?" The woman looked at Mr. Matsumoto with interest, and then said coldly after a while, "You tied up my young master and young lady of the Su family, and assassinated more than 10 people of Su family. What do you say I want to do?" "Of course, it is time. I am here to take your life."